Hello again, Scorpio. Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au, March 2017. It's revival time. It's a time where, as we can see, the Sun, Neptune, Mercury and the South Node all transiting your fifth house of that creativity. And for those of you that have been wandering through the dark night of the soul, the additional conjunction of 4 planets in your sixth house, Mars, Uranus, Venus and the Moon, are also an indicator of your strong resurgent energy for work. Whatever obstacles you've had may now be passing. We talked about that last month. So this is also an excellent time to gear up for good things, for more successes throughout 2017. And especially those of you Scorpios who are born under the Chinese sign of the rooster, especially the fire rooster, this is really going to bring back your energy, your drive and your self-confidence, which is what I see right now. Venus, when it transits through a sign, as it is now in your sixth house, brings with it a love and dedication and devotion, a softness as well. So that is why you are starting to, get back into the swing of what it is you feel comfortable doing. And your work should now afford you an opportunity to feel that creative upswing that you haven't had for a while. If it's all been responsibility and heavy-duty constraints, now you can look forward to some really good things in your professional activities. Mars is there. It's moving out on the 4th, I believe. Let me have a look there. It's the 10th, the 10th of March. Mars moves to your 7th house of relationships. So you've got all this energy in your work, and then on the 10th, Mars moves out of there. Mars is one of your ruling planets. It also determines where a lot of your focus is going at any time. It's just passed over the conjunction of Uranus. So for some of you, there might have been some explosive twists and turns in the nature of your relationships, in what's happening in your work. But that, fortunately, is now passing just by 1 degree. That's going to get better. It will improve up to the 10th. But you do need to be careful of your relationships after that. Mars in the 7th house is notorious for complicating relationships. It can bring with it also a lot of sexual desire. Usually Western astrologers say that that's the case when it's in the 8th house, but you will find that any relationship house having Mars transiting there, as it will throughout this month after the 10th, brings with it some very, very powerful instinctive sexual dynamic energy with it. It is also not a good placement if you've got existing marriages or business partnerships that can put you at odds with them, especially because Mars has now been in the opposite position to Jupiter, one of your other favourable planets, which also regulates your finances. So do take note of that. The lunations this month, the position of the moon, we see the full moon taking place in your 11th house of friendships. Whereas you may have been so preoccupied with all your work, now this full moon in your 11th house of friendships, social networking, is excellent. It brings with it some fulfillment of desire, some ambition you may have had. It doesn't mean your lifelong ambition, although it can, but for this month, it could be some milestone that is reached that gives you yet further opportunity to move forward in your work and your relationships. The other interesting thing about this full moon is that the opposite end of that is the new moon, which I see takes place on the 28th in Aries, back again, swinging around into your zone of workplace activities. Mind you, the new moon in the 6th house will also show some perhaps delayed New Year's resolution to get your health and your exercise regime back in order. And I think that's a powerful new moon for you, especially because you'll still have Uranus and Venus in that placement. So rather than it being tedious, I think you're going to start to feel some measure of enjoyment through what lifestyle changes you make this month, Scorpio. What else can we see for you there? The other aspects of, for example, Mercury, which is ruling your 8th house of shared resources and this place of social activities, is another one to look out for. And in particular, early in the month, March 4th, when it makes that conjunction to Neptune, which can blur all of the edges of your relationships, communications and contracts. Not a good time to do anything until after the 4th of March. You've got the right angle square aspect, which is also a tough one, taking place on the 12th, from what I can see there in Pisces, your 5th house. That could cause some complications with children if you're a parent. It also slows down your creative impulses. I mentioned you've got a good upswing in that area, but this is just 4 or 5 days where you may not be feeling that creativity within your heart. Communications will also be difficult. You may find people that are a little antagonistic to you and not amenable to what it is that your ideas are proposing. So, again, better to wait till after that. The other couple of important, 24th is a tough one because you've got an exact square aspect to Pluto and an opposition to Jupiter. This could be power plays that take place, dealing with people. Best to take the circumvent route. You don't need to go head on with people, just let that simmer. Fortunately, Mercury is a fast moving planet, and a lot of these aspects will diminish as the month progresses. 27th is a big one too, leading up to that with the conjunction of Mercury to Uranus. Again, you could be in for a surprise in your work, and so you need to be prepared, as I was when I was a Boy Scout. So just be one step ahead of the game, and you'll come through this month feeling great and looking forward to bigger and better things. Don't forget to stop off at astrology.com.au. We've got a more detailed analysis for you there. As I always say, it's good to see this contextually in terms of the year at a glance, 2017, and you can get all of that there, and it's not going to cost you a cent. And I do look forward to seeing you next month. Thanks for your time. Good luck. Take care.